Hello, and welcome to another segment of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca, Miss B. Lee, and we are here for our Tuesday evening session of our collective reading of the phenomenal, transformative, impactful book, The Power of Intention, written by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. This book, you all, has been absolutely insanely wonderful. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Kenquita. Kenquita. How are you? How are you? Welcome. We are also airing you all on not just on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Clubhouse as well. So hello to all those who are watching and listening on the replay. I absolutely love these platforms because it allows us to be able to go back and play it back as many times as we need to or whenever we need to. If we can't listen to it real time and things like that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. I love it. So whether you listen to it in real time or you listen to it 10 years from now, it's available for you. Okay. I'm so glad to know that you're good. Thank you. You all, as you already know, on Tuesdays, I do not like to waste time because it's already 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and it's time to get down with the get down, okay? We are entering chapter 5 of this book, right? Chapter 5 is entitled Your Impact on Others When Connected to Intention. Your impact on others when connected to intention, okay? So, as we already know, okay, as we already know, I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Thank you for asking. I am absolutely positively amazing. I couldn't get better if I tried, okay? So, if you hear anything that I read that resonates with you, that you want to just you want to dwell on, you want to highlight or whatever, use the comment section, use the chat, use it from wherever you're watching, use it, okay? That's what we're here for. We're here to glean from one another, okay? So there may be something that sticks out to you and it's like, whoa, okay, that just blew my mind. I needed to hear that, okay? Do that because I read this right along with you all. So I don't read ahead of you all. I read it in real time right along with you, right? So the revelation that I get, I'm gonna stop and I'm going to talk about the revelation I just got, okay? Before I carry on. So is this is listen, we are, like I say, you already know. I say all the time, we are holding each other hand, walking each other back home to our most authentic, most elevated, most precious, most highest self. Okay, that's what we're doing. Regardless of what my title is, this title matters not. This title simply says I went to school, I turned in some lessons, I did a dissertation, it was approved, by some peers, and that's it. Okay, I gained the accolades and the accommodations that I've gained because of the trade that I'm in right now. That's it. That's all, to make me better. Continued education to make me better at what I do and what I give to the world. That's it. That's all. But my journey and your journey coincides. We're doing the same thing, walking the same path. Okay. All righty. Here we go. Your impact on others when connected to intention. There's a quote here by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it states, "It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no man can sincerely try to help another without helping himself. Serve and thou shalt be served. Serve and thou shalt be served." That is so true. As you find yourself being more in harmony with the faces of intention, you're going to discover that you'll be impacting others in new ways. The nature of this impact is profoundly important in your quest to utilize the power of intention. You'll begin seeing in others what you're feeling within yourself. This new way of seeing will enable people in your presence to feel comforted and peaceful, and to indirectly be loving accomplices to your connection to intention. As you'll read on the next page, the poet Hafiz states that he wants nothing, even if the person is a drooling mess and a potential victim. All he perceives is their divine worth, which is what you'll see in others as you connect to the power of intention. That is so true. That is so true. Um, Someone said, and I think it was in one of the previous chapters, he stated that it is, you can't see outside of you, you can't see beauty outside of you until you're capable of seeing beauty inside of you. Okay. So it's always an inside job. It starts within and then it manifests without, right? So as your view of life and love and peace and happiness source, I am almighty, increases and elevates, then your view of all things that the Almighty created or fashioned or formed, i.e., your neighbor, your loved ones, your friends, family, nature, whatever the case, will increase as well. You see what I'm saying? It starts within and then it transmutes without, right? And the next section says the jeweler. If a naive and desperate man brings a precious stone to the only jeweler in town, wanting to sell it, the jeweler's eyes will begin to play a game, like most eyes in the world when they look at you. The jeweler's face will stay calm. He will not want to reveal the stone's true value, but to hold the man captive to fear and greed while he calculates the value of the transaction. But one moment with me, my dear, will show you that there is nothing Hafiz wants from you. When you sit before a master like me, even if you are a drooling mess, my eyes sing with excitement. They see your divine worth. That's what Hafiz is saying. Regardless of what you have, he's saying, regardless of what your title is, regardless of what he can gain from you, it's not about that. When he looks at you, he sees your divine, your divinity. He sees your sacredness. And that's how he handles you. That's good. Okay. Next section. You receive what you desire for others. You receive what you desire for others. As you review the attributes of universal intention and simultaneously vow to be those attributes, you begin to see the significance of what you desire for all others. If you desire peace for others, you'll receive it. If you want others to feel loved, you'll be the recipient of love. If you see only beauty and worthiness in others, you'll have the same return to you. You'll only give away what you have in your heart and attract what you're giving away. This is a matter of great concern to you. Your impact on others, whether it be strangers, family members, co-workers, or neighbors, is evidence of the strength of your connection to the power of intention. Think of your relationships in terms of holy or unholy. Holy relationships facilitate the power of intention at a high energy level for everyone involved. Unholy relationships keep the energy of at the lower, slower levels for all concerned. You'll know your own potential for greatness when you start seeing the perfection in all relationships. When you recognize others' holiness, you'll treat them as divine expressions of the power of intention, wanting nothing from them. The irony is that they become co creators, manifesting all of your desires. Want nothing from them, demand nothing from them, have no expectations for them, and they'll return this kindness. Demand from them, insist that they please you, judge them as inferior, and see them as servants, and you'll receive the same. It behooves you to be acutely aware of what you truly want for others and to know whether you're in a holy or an unholy relationship with every person you're involved with. That is so true. That is so true. Now, we've been talking about this myself and a couple of my clients just today. We're talking about the circles and how we're in a season of purging. We're in a season of detachment. We're in a season of, checking the inventory, checking our circles and our surroundings and who we have around us and all of this stuff, and seeing how they are, if they are serving us, if they are beneficial for us, if we're serving them, because we could be the catalyst that is hindering other people from growing as well. Hello, somebody. Can we tell the truth on tonight? Right? You could be the very thing that's holding somebody back. Right? So taking the inventory and really being honest with self and really, really, really understanding and knowing whether some relationships have run their course. Not to say that we want to complain about them, we want to be angry with them, we want to resent and be bitter and all of this. No, what we're doing is in turn looking at the inventory of our surroundings, our circle, and saying to those relationships that have outrun its course, and say, I thank you for your contribution to the season that I was in, that you and I were connected in. I'm thankful for that season. I'm thankful for everything that you were to me in that season, because clearly in that season you served me, I served you. Now that I've evolved from that season, I send gratitude to you. I send love and light to you. I wish nothing but the best for you, but I also release you. Okay? That's growth. Hello. That is growth, and that's real. Everybody can't go. That is the word for this Tuesday after Tuesday evening. Everybody can't go. We can't carry everyone with us. Some people are there for a reason. Some people are for a season. Some people are for a lifetime. We need to discern what category to put the people in. That's the problem is we got seasonal people in lifetime positions. And then we wonder why there's always a conflict, why there's always a battle, why there's always something going on. We can't never, it's always a tug of war. I don't know what's wrong. We just off. Okay. All right. Find out why. Find out why that relationship probably have run its course. And it could be you can go your separate ways and release one another in love. In love. It ain't always got to be a knockout drag out. Okay. Next section, the holy relationship. One truth that I've recognized during the years of my own growth is that it's impossible to know my perfection if I'm unable to see and honor that perfection in others. The ability to see yourself as a temporary expression of intention and to see yourself in all of humanity is a characteristic of the holy relationship. It's the ability to celebrate and honor in all others the place where we're all one. Correct. In an unholy relationship, you see yourself as separate from others. It's the feeling that others are primarily useful to satisfy ego's urges and that people are there to help you get what's missing in your life. In any kind of relationship, this attitude of separation and potential manipulation creates a barrier between you and the power of intention. The signs of unholy relationships are quite clear. People become defensive, fearful, hostile, standoffish, and don't wish to be in your company. As you change your thought pattern to raise your energy vibrations and reduce the demands of your ego, you'll begin developing a reverent or holy relationship with others. Then everyone is perceived as complete. When you can celebrate differences in others as interesting or enjoyable, you're loosening your identity with ego. The holy relationship is a way of matching up with the universal source of creation and being peacefully joyful. Any relationship or even an encounter from the holy perspective is a coming together with a beloved self aspect and discovering a stimulating connection with the power of intention. Recently, in a supermarket, I asked a frenzied clerk behind the seafood counter if he knew where I could find the smoked salmon. I saw myself as connected to him in spite of the frustration showing through his behavior. A man standing next to me heard my request and saw the clerk's harried demeanor. The stranger smiled at me and went to another area in the store, returning with a package of Novalox, which he handed me. He delivered to me what I was seeking. A coincidence? I think not. When I feel myself connected to others and radiate the energy of holy relationships, people react with kindness and go out of their way to assist me with my intentions. In another example of this, I was transferred from one airline to another because of a mechanical problem that resulted in a cancellation. At my original airline, which is in my hometown, the employees know me and go out of their way to assist me. I've practiced holy relationships with everyone at the counter, at baggage check in, on the plane, and so on. On this particular day, I was sent to the other end of the airport with 7 boxes of books and tapes that had to be checked as baggage. As my assistant Maya and I trudged up to the counter of the other airline, pushing a cart with luggage and 7 heavy boxes, the passenger agent announced that her airline did not permit more than 2 boxes, 2 pieces of luggage to be checked in, and that I would have to leave 3 of the boxes behind. I could check in 2 for me and 2 for Maya. Those are the rules. Here's where a holy relationship with a stranger has more potential for assisting you with your intentions than an unholy relationship. Rather than countering the agent with an intention that she was a clerk whose job it was to serve my needs, I chose to join her where we both are one. I let her know that I wasn't even mildly upset over this rule, and I imagined how she must feel, having to process a large number of people who weren't scheduled on this flight. I felt connected and expressed my own feelings of frustration at having this challenge of what to do with these three extra boxes, which my originally scheduled airline had agreed to transport. I invited her to attend a lecture I was giving in town the next month as my guest. An entire conversation and the entire interaction was guided by my private intent that this remain a holy relationship. The energy of this interaction shifted from weak to strong. We bonded, recognized ourself in the other, and she checked in all of my boxes with a cheerful smile. I've never forgotten what she said to me as she handed me our boarding passes. When you wheeled up that cart with all those boxes, I was determined that you weren't going to get them on that plane. And after a few moments of being with you, I would have carried them out and put them on the plane myself if I had to. It's a pleasure to know you. Thank you for your business, and I hope you'll consider our airline in the future. See, that's good. These are two simple examples of what happens when you consciously shift from ego dominated unholy relationships to experiencing your connectedness through the power of intention. I urge you to establish a holy relationship with your source, the world community, your neighbors, acquaintances, family, the animal kingdom, our planet, and yourself. Just as in my examples of the man in the store delivering me the smoked salmon I was looking for, and the airline agent assisting me in realizing my intent, you will enjoy the power of intention through holy relationships. It's all about relationship. That is good. Ooh, that's good. Right? I know. That's good. Quita said that's good. Here's the thing. This is my process in that whole thing, right? And this is a revelation that I got a couple years ago from Spirit. I got that when I see others, I should see God in them because God is in them. When others see me, I should show the God in me. Okay. So, regardless of what the title, the role, the whatever it is, it doesn't matter whether we're adults, children, it doesn't matter. In everyone there resides God. In everyone there resides God. So, if I see you and I see God, then I dare not talk to you any type of way. I don't care who you are. I don't care what age you are. If I see you and I see God, then I need to fashion how I speak to God by how I speak to you. Period. When I walk into your home, I am walking on holy ground because God resides in your home. When you walk into my home, it's the same way. When I walk into the grocery store, that is holy ground because there God resides in every single person in that grocery store. When I walk outside in nature, I respect nature because God resides in nature. Right? There should be no, this one battling this one or us and them and we're over here and y'all over there and we're this race and y'all that race and we're the chosen and you are not and all of this, you know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that. In all lives God. Period. Whether we believe a thing or whatever, I am currently writing a book called Love Beyond Belief. Love Beyond Belief. Meaning, love supersedes and transcends any religion. Period. Period. Because before there were religions, there was love. Christ himself wasn't even a Christian. Okay? There was no Christianity then. None of that. Before there was religion, when men got involved, then that's where the divide came. Episcopalian, what's the Baptist, all Lutheran, all Mormon. That's when men got involved. That's when division happened, when men got involved. But before there was any religions, there was only love. Only love. That's it. That's it. That's all. The main force behind all things, love. The main reason why the trees sway and pump out the oxygen for us to breathe every day, love. The main reason why the bees pollinate, love. Why the birds sing, love. Why the planets and the sun and the moon revolve, love. That's it. That's all. Lauryn Hill said it could all be so simple, but we'd rather make it hard. Hello, somebody. Right? Now, next section. Alone, we can do nothing. Alone, we can do nothing. When you meet anyone, treat the event as a holy encounter. It's through others that we either find or love ourselves. For you see, nothing is accomplished without others. A Course in Miracles says this so well. It reads, alone we can do nothing, but together our minds fuse into something whose power is far beyond the power of its separate parts. The kingdom cannot be found alone, and you are the kingdom. Cannot be found, cannot find yourself alone. You who are the kingdom cannot find yourself alone. The whole of us is the kingdom of God. The whole of us, whether we agree or not, the whole of us is the kingdom of source, of the Almighty, of the I am, of infinite knowledge, infinite intelligence, infinite. The whole of us. Again, there is no us and them. That's man stuff. That's man stuff. Division did not enter with God. Division, listen. Okay, I could go somewhere. Child, I'm trying to hold my mule, but baby, I could go. You hear me? Okay, let's get back to the book. When you eliminate the concept of separation from your thoughts and your behavior, you begin to feel your connection to everything and everyone. You begin having a sense of belonging, which enables you to scoff at any thought of being separate. This feeling of connectedness originates with and helps you process all of your interactions from the point of view of equality. By recognizing others as co-creators, you match up with your source and move into a state of grace. If you're seeing yourself as either inferior or superior, you've disconnected from the power of intention. Your desires will be frustrated unless you connect with and support other people. How you interact with your universal support team is significant. How you view others is a projection of how you view yourself. Consistently seeing others as worthless means that you're erecting a roadblock for your own potential allies. See others as weak, and you're simultaneously attracting weak energies. Persistently viewing others as dishonest, lazy, sinful, and so on may mean that you need to feel superior. Constantly seeing others critically can be a way of compensating for something you fear. But you don't even need to understand this psychological mechanism. All you have to do is recognize how you view others. If there's a pattern of seeing others as failures, you only need to notice the pattern as evidence of what you're attracting into your life. It's so important to see interactions as holy encounters because this sets in motion an attractor energy pattern. In a holy relationship, you attract the collaboration of higher energies. In an unholy relationship, the attractor pattern exists too, attracting low energies and more unholy relationships. By bringing higher energy in higher spiritual energy to everyone you encounter, you dissolve lower energies. When the energies of kindness, love, receptivity, and abundance are present in your relationship, You have brought the elixir of spiritual creation or the love of the creator right into the mix. Now, those forces begin to work on everyone in your environment. The right people magically appear, the right materials show up. The phone rings and someone gives you the information you've been waiting for months. Strangers offer suggestions that make sense to you. As I mentioned earlier, these type of coincidences are like mathematical angles that coincide or fit together perfectly. Treat others as co-creators and have the divine expectations for them. Don't view anyone as ordinary, unless, of course, you wish to have more of the ordinary manifest into your life. Ooh, that's good. Next section, from ordinary to extraordinary. From ordinary to extraordinary. I know that's right. Put a little extra on my ordinary. Please and thank you. Leo Tolstoy's famous story, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, is one of my favorite pieces of literature. Tolstoy describes Ivan Ilyich as a man who's motivated almost exclusively by the expectations of others and isn't able to live out his own dreams. The opening line of chapter 2 in this compelling story goes like this. The story of Ivan Ilyich's life was of the simplest, most ordinary, and therefore most terrible. Tolstoy's actually defines living an ordinary life as terrible. I couldn't agree more. If your expectations for yourself center on being normal, just getting along, fitting in, and being an ordinary person, you'll resonate to ordinary frequencies and you'll attract more of normal and ordinary into your life. Furthermore, your impact on others as potential allies and co creating your intentions will also revolve around ordinary. The power of intention occurs when you're synchronized with the all creating universal force, which is anything but ordinary. This is the power that's responsible for all of creation. It's ever expansive and thinks and creates in terms of endless abundance. When you shift to this higher energy and resonate more in harmony with intention, you become a magnet for attracting more of this energy into your world. You also have this kind of impact on everyone and everything you're in contact with. That is so true. One of the most effective means for transcending ordinary and moving into the realm of extraordinary is saying yes more frequently and eliminating no almost completely. I call it saying yes to life. Say yes to yourself, to your family, your children, your coworkers, and your business. Ordinary says no. I don't think I can do that. No, that won't work. No, I've tried that and it's never worked before. No, that intention is impossible for me. With the idea of no, you attract more of no, and your impact on others whom you could help on and on, help and on and yeah, and on whom you could rely for help is also no. Once again, I urge you to adopt the attitude of the poet Hafiz, where he says, I rarely let the word no escape from my mouth because it is so plain to my soul that God has shouted yes, yes, yes to every illumination and luminous a movement in existence. That's right. God says yes. God has always said yes. Okay. Your answer was yes before you were born. So clearly, all right, we operate in a realm of yes. Shout yes to everyone as often as you can. When someone seeks your permission to try something, before saying no, ask yourself if you want that person to stay at ordinary levels of living. When my son Sands wished to try out a new surfing area last week, my first inclination was to say, too dangerous. You've never been there before. You could get hurt or so on. But I reconsidered and accompanied him on a new adventure. My yes impacted his life and mine in a positive manner. Making yes your inner mantra allows you to extend yes outside of yourself and attract more of a yes into your own personal intending. Yes is the breath of creation. Ooh, yes is the breath of creation. Come on here. Think of a drop of rain merging with a river at the moment it becomes the river. Think of the river merging with the ocean at the moment it becomes the ocean. You can almost hear the sound of yes being whispered in those moments. As you merge with the universal force of creation, extending yes wherever feasible, you become that force of creation itself. This will be your impact on others. No more ordinary no's in your life. On to the extraordinary. Ordinary implies being stuck in a rut, much like Ivan Ilyich. While in that rut, you'll attract other rut dwellers. Come on, wait. I got to go back there. He says, while in that rut, you'll attract other rut dwellers. Rut dwellers, come on here. And your mutual impact will be to stay in your ordinary ruts, complaining, finding fault, wishing, and hoping for better days. The universal force of intention never complains. It creates and offers its opinion and options for greatness. It judges no one, and it isn't stuck wishing and hoping that things will improve. It's too busy creating beauty to be foolishly engaged. Come on here. Oh my God, y'all. I want to run on around this room, okay? My goodness. As you move your own energy level up out of a rut mentality, you'll have an uplifting effect on all of the rut dwellers in your life. Moreover, you'll help many of them have a similar impact and create new allies in fulfilling your own intentions. Become aware of your identification with normal or ordinary and begin to vibrate to higher and higher energetic frequencies, which constitute a shift upward into the extraordinary dimensions of your intent, of pure intent. Listen here. Listen here. Come on here. I'm talking about, listen, it resonated with me and I got happy right then and there because back in 2021, I heard clear as day in my spirit, clear as me talking. I heard, if you want it, create it. Simple. What are you waiting on? You are a co-creator. Listen, we are God embodied. You hear me? We are human embodiments of God. Everything that God does, we can do. God creates. God is a well of creativity. Okay? That is where original started, right there. Originality began with God. Right? We were formed and fashioned in the image and likeness of God. Everything that makes God makes us. So do you mean to tell me? I think one of our, the only problem that exists in our world, I am convinced. Okay. Huh? Quita said, now that just said something to my spirit. Let me tell you something. I am convinced that the only problem that we have in this life is the one sole problem. And forget everything else that we call a problem. Okay. Forget that because it ain't nowhere near. I'm convinced that the only thing that is a problem in our life, a real problem, is the fact that we have a mistaken identity. We don't know who we are. That is the only problem that exists on this planet, is the one of we don't know who we are. Because the moment you align with who you truly are and what you are truly made of, everything that you called a problem before will see your face. Okay? You will see those things that you once labeled as a problem. You will be able to see those as opportunities to show it who you are. Period. What are we even doing? What are we doing? For real, for real. Let's just get, what are we, like the kids say, what is even this? Okay? What are we doing? Who are you? That's the first question I ask every client that I take in. Do you know who you are? Because based on your answer, I know exactly what direction we need to go into. My job, my sole purpose in the role that I have in anybody's life is to reflect, is to be a mirror, is to remind you of who you are. That's it. Because once you have remembered, I need you to hear me. Remembered, meaning, because if we don't remember who we are, that means that to dismember yourself means to be scattered about. Means that your parts are everywhere, okay? To be dismembered. But to remember means that your parts are now coming back to its rightful owner. Hello? You are no longer scattered. You're no longer believing what other people said you were. You're no longer aligning with the programming and the conditioning that you've been in your entire life. You are remembering. You are recollecting. You are reconnecting to who you truly are. What did I say at the top of the message here? All we are doing is holding each other's hand, walking each other back home to our original state of completion, where we once were before we took breath, right? As we grew up, we were conditioned to this planet, to this realm, to the ways of this, to the division, to the war, to the conflicts, to the race stuff, to the this, to the that. We were conditioned to this stuff, which means that we started to believe the things that we were conditioned to and forgot who we were coming into this realm. You were not to conform into this world. We were to transform this world as ourselves. We were to be in this place, but not of this place. Slowly but surely, we done became of this place. And the fruit that we demonstrate, it shows by way of our mental space, our emotional space, our spiritual space. Oh, it shows. It shows by how we talk. It shows by how we walk. It shows by how we demonstrate defeat. We are victim to everything. Oh, it shows. You have forgotten who you are. That's the only one problem that we face on this planet, is the forgetting of who you are, mistaken identity. You don't believe what somebody told you were, instead of connecting and going within to actually learn that answer of who you are, to actually reconnect to who you are. Going on to the next section, how your energies impact others. How your energies impact others. When you feel connected and in harmony with intention, you sense a major difference in how other people react to you. Be cognizant of these reactions, because they'll bear directly on your abilities to fulfill your individual intentions. The more closely you automatically resonate to the frequencies of the universal all-creating source, the more that others will be impacted and their lower energies nullified. You're changing, you're shifting atmosphere. When you know who you are, you'll shift atmospheres, you'll shift attitudes, atmospheres, all of that. They'll gravitate towards you, bringing peace, joy, love, beauty, and abundance into your life. What follows is my opinion on how you'll impact others when you're resonating with intention, and how different your impact is when you're dominated by your own ego separatist attitude. How are some of the most significant ways in which you'll impact others? Here are some of the most significant ways. Number one, your presence instills calmness. Your very presence, you ain't got to say a word. Your presence will instill calmness. When you coincide with intention, your impact on others has a calming influence. People tend to feel more at peace, less threatened, and more at ease. The power of intention is the power of love and receptivity. It asks nothing of anyone. It judges no one, and it encourages others to be free to be themselves. As people feel calmer in your presence, they're inclined to feel safe by virtue of the energy frequencies that you radiate. Their feelings are encouraged by your energy of love and receptivity, causing them to want to reach out and be with you. As Walt Whitman put it, we convince by our presence. We convince by our presence. My goodness, man. If instead you bring the lower calibrations of judgment, hostility, anger, hatred, or depression to your interactions, you attract that level of energy if it's lurking in the people you're interacting with. This acts like a counterforce to those same energies if they're present in others. The impact intensifies the lower frequencies at that level and creates a field in which demands are placed as a result of feelings of inferiority or opposition. Intention doesn't interact against anything. It's like gravity, which doesn't move against anything, nor does gravity itself move. Think of impacting others like gravity, with no need to move against or attack anyone. People who feel empowered by your presence become kindred spirits. That can only happen if they feel safe rather than attacked, secure rather than judged, calm rather than harassed. Come on here. The next is this: your presence leaves others feeling energized. I recall leaving a 2-hour session with a spiritual master and feeling as if I could conquer the world emotionally and spiritually. The saint was Mother Mira, who'd held my head in her hands and gazed into my eyes with her egoless divinity. I felt so energized that I didn't sleep that entire night. I wanted more of what this joyous being had shown me through her presence alone. When you bring the frequencies of intention into the presence of others, they'll feel energized just by being in your immediate circle. You don't have to say a word. You don't have to act in any prescribed fashion. Your energy of intention alone will make others in your field feel as if they've mysteriously been empowered. As you begin consciously expressing the seven phases of intention, you'll discover that others begin to comment on the impact you're making on them. They'll want to assist you in fulfilling your own dreams. They'll be energized and volunteer to help you. They'll even begin to offer to finance your dreams with their energized new ideas. As I've grown in my consciousness of the power of intention, I've been told I've had an impact without my doing anything other than spending an evening having a meal in a restaurant. People tell me they've been energized with greater confidence and determination and inspiration after our time together. I've done nothing. They felt impacted by the field of high energy we shared. That's awesome. That is beautiful. Next section: your presence allows others to feel better about themselves. Come on here. Your presence allows others to feel better about themselves. Have you ever noticed when you're in the presence of certain people that you feel better about yourself? Their compassionate energy has the noticeably pleasant impact of simply making you feel really good about yourself. You'll impact others with this energy of compassion as you develop your connection to intention. People will sense that you care about them, understand them, and are interested in them as unique individuals. With this kind of connection to intention, you're less likely to focus conversation on yourself and use others to massage your ego. Come on here. We got a whole lot of those out here, I promise you. On the contrary, being in the company of someone who's disdainful or indifferent impacts you quite differently. If this is the low energy you transmit to others, they're quite likely to depart the encounter feeling less than wonderful about themselves, unless they're so strongly connected to intention that they can override the impact of this low energy. These extremely low energy thoughts and behaviors are evident if you use every topic that's brought up as an excuse to talk about yourself. Any behavior similar to this displays ego dominated energy that impacts others unpleasantly. Moreover, it leaves others feeling as if they're insignificant or unimportant, and obviously feeling worse about themselves than when it's a repeated pattern in the significant relationship. That is so true. Man, that is so true. Next section: your presence allows others to feel unified. Your presence allows others to feel unified. The effect of being in the presence of people expressing high frequencies is to feel unified and connected to all of nature, all of humankind, and to intention. As you raise your frequencies, your impact on others invites them to be on the same team. You're unified and want to assist each other in the fulfilling of a common objective. The opposite of this feeling of unity is feeling polarized and cut off. Low energy is demanding and always moves against others. Therefore, it will inevitably produce a win lose condition. The energies of antagonism, judgment, hatred, and the like set up a counter force in which somebody has to lose. When you have an enemy, you need to establish a defense system, and having to defend yourself becomes the nature of your relationship. One person's need to move against and polarize sets in motion the conditions for war. War is always expensive. This is all avoidable by staying connected to intention and bringing that higher energy to your relationships, allowing those you encounter to feel the oneness with you, with everyone else, with nature, and with God. That's so true. Man, that's so true. Next section. Your presence instills a sense of purpose. When you're in the when you're in higher spiritual energies, when you're in the higher spiritual energies, you bring something to others that's almost inexplicable. Your presence and behavior from a space of love, acceptance, non-judgment, and kindness becomes a catalyst for others feeling on purpose in their lives. By staying at the higher energies of optimism, forgiveness, understanding, reverence for spirit, creativity, serenity, and bliss, you radiate this energy and convert lower energies to your higher vibrations. These people whom you so non deliberately impact begin to feel your quiet reverence and serenity. Your own purpose, which revolves around serving others and therefore serving God, becomes fulfilled. And as a bonus, you create allies. I've had thousands of people tell me that just by attending a lecture or a talk at a church where the primary message is hope, love, and kindness is sufficient motivation for them to make a commitment to pursuing their purpose. When I'm the speaker at such events, I always enter from the rear of the room to take some time to drink in the energy of hope, optimism, and love. I can literally feel their collective energy. It's like a peaceful wave of pleasure, as if there were a warm shower running us inside of me. This is energy. It's the stuff of intention, and it's powerfully motivating in helping everyone feel purposeful and hopeful. Next, your presence allows others to trust in authentic personal connections. Your presence allows others to trust in authentic personal connections. By bringing the traits of intention to others, you allow trust to be present. You'll notice both an inclination and a willingness on the part of others to open up and confide in you. This is related to the quality of trust. In the atmosphere of higher energy, people trust and want to share their personal stories with you. By being so connected to intention, you are more godlike. And who would you trust more than God to share your secrets with? Recently, during an early morning whale watching expedition, a woman who had no idea of my identity disclosed to me her history of failed relationships and how unfulfilled she felt. In conversation with me in an energy field that allows and encourages trust, she let herself take the risk of opening up to a stranger. This has occurred frequently since I've been living the principles of the seven phases of intention. As St. Francis of Assisi put it is no use walking anywhere to preach unless our walking is our preaching. Listen, I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back. It is no use walking anywhere to preach unless your walking is your preaching. Come on. You'll ultimately discover that by carrying this energy of intention with you, even strangers will do what they can to serve you and help you accomplish your own intentions. The opposite results are apparent when you emit the low energy frequencies. If your distrustful energy exhibits itself in anxious, judgmental, dictatorial, superior, or demanding ways, others are disinclined to help you get what you want. The truth is that your low energy emissions often leave others with a desire to interfere with your own intentions. Why? Because your low energies help to create counterforce, conflict erupts, winners and losers are necessary, and enemies are created, all because of your unwillingness to stay connected to the faces of intention. So true. Next section, your presence inspires others to greatness. Your presence inspires others to greatness. Notice he's just talking about your very presence, just your presence. Okay, imagine if that's backed up by your words, by your love, by your joy. Just your presence is doing all of this, y'all. Your presence inspires others to greatness. When you're connected to spirit and quietly reflect this consciousness, you become a source of inspiration to others. In a sense, this is one of the most powerful effects that connecting to intention transmits to others. The word inspiration means in spirit. The fact that you're primarily in spirit means that you inspire rather than inform with your presence. You won't inspire others by loudly insisting or demanding that others listen to your point of view. In all the years that I've been teaching, writing, lecturing, and producing tapes and videos, I've noticed a twofold process at work. I feel on purpose, inspired, and connected to universal spirit in all of my work. And many thousands or even millions of people become inspired as a result of my own inspiration. The second factor is the vast number of people who have helped me with my work. They've sent me materials, written me inspiring stories that I've used, and literally been my co creators. When you inspire others by your presence, you're utilizing the originating power of intention for the benefit of all those you touch, including yourself. I wholeheartedly endorse this way of being, and I know without a doubt that you too can be a presence that's inspiring to others. Next section, your presence aligns others with beauty. Your presence aligns others with beauty. When you're connected to intention, you see beauty everywhere and in everything because you're radiating the quality of beauty. Your perceptual world changes dramatically. At the higher energy of intent, you see beauty in everyone, young or old, rich or poor, dark or light, with no distinctions. Everything is perceived from a perspective of appreciation rather than judgment. As you bring this feeling of beauty, appreciation to the presence of others, people are inclined to see themselves as you see them. They feel attractive and better about themselves as they circulate that high energy of beauty. When people feel beautiful, they act in beautiful ways. Your awareness of beauty impacts others to see the world around them in the same way. The benefit, once again, is twofold. First, you'll be helping others become appreciators of life and be happier by virtue of their immersion into the world of beauty. Second, your own intentions receive the assistance of those people who have acquired newly enhanced self esteem. Beauty proliferates in others just by virtue of your presence when you're connected to the intention. That's good. That's good. I stated at the top of the segment, you all. In this book, he says, you can't see beauty outside of you unless you first see it inside of you. It's always an inside job. It starts within and then it emits without. Okay. Next section. Your presence instills health rather than sickness. Your presence instills health rather than sickness. Your connection to your source keeps you focused on what you intend to manifest into your life with no energy given to what you don't want. This internal focus doesn't permit you to complain about what ails you or to think about disease, pain, or any physical difficulties. Your energy is always on creating love and expanding the perfection from which you originated. This includes your body and all of your beliefs about your physical self. You know in your heart that your body is a system of miracles. You have great reverence for its amazing capacity to heal itself and to function on its own without your interference. You know that your physical self is inspired by a divine force that beats its heart, digests its food, and grows its fingernails, and that this same force is receptive and endlessly abundant. Mm. When you bring to the presence of others a healthy appreciation for the miracle that your body represents, you diffuse their effort to dwell on disease, ill health, and deterioration. In fact, the higher your energy field resonates, the more you're able to impact others with your own healing energy. Become aware of your own amazing capacity to affect the healing and health of those around you simply by the silent presence of your high energy connection to intention. This is a literal energy that emanates from you. That is so true. In the hopes that you will recognize the importance of raising your energy level, I'm going to conclude this chapter with a look at how our entire civilization is impacted when energy levels are synchronized with the source of our creation. This will require an open mind and a bit of stretching on your part. However, it's something that I know is true, and I'd be remiss if I left it out. It may appear peculiar or even outlandish to some who fail to see the ways in which all of us on this planet are connected and therefore impact each other from distances not discernible by our senses. Okay, so he gave the disclaimer, you all have an open mind now. Okay, have an open mind. Here we go. Your impact on the consciousness of all of humanity. Your impact on the consciousness of all of humanity. Many years ago, I was with one of my daughters as she completed a lengthy program in the wilderness to help her deal more effectively with some of her teenage dilemmas. The last thing the counselor at the wilderness camp said to her was, remember at all times that what you think and what you do affects other people. This is true even beyond the impact we have on our friends, family, neighbors, and coworkers. I believe that we impact all of humanity. Thus, as you read this section, keep in mind that what you think and do affects all other people. In Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins writes, in this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. We all float on the collective level of consciousness of mankind, so that any increment we add comes back to us. We all add to our common buoyancy by our efforts to benefit life. It is a scientific fact that what is good for you is good for me. Dr. Hawkins has backed up his remarks and conclusions with 29 years of hard research, which I invite you to examine if you're so inclined. I'll briefly summarize some of these conclusions and how they relate to the impact you have on others when you're connected to intention. In essence, every single person, as well as large groups of people, can be calibrated for their energy levels. Generally speaking, low energy people cannot distinguish truth from falsehood. They can be told how to think, whom to hate, whom to kill, and they can be herded into a group think mentality based on such trivial details as what side of the river they were born on, what their parents and their grandparents believe, the shape of their eyes, and hundreds of other factors having to do with appearance and total identification with their material world. Hawkins tells us that approximately 87% of humanity calibrates at a collective energy level that weakens them. The higher up the ladder of frequency vibration, the fewer people there are in those high levels. The highest levels are represented by the truly great persons who originated spiritual patterns that multitudes have followed throughout the ages. They're associated with divinity, and they set in motion attractor energy fields that influence all of humankind. Just below that energy level of pure enlightenment are the energy levels associated with the experience designated as transcendence, self-realization, or God consciousness. Here's where those who are called saintly reside. Just below this level is the place of pure joy, and the hallmark of this state is compassion. Those who attain this level have more of a desire to use their consciousness for the benefit of life itself rather than for particular individuals. Below these supremely high levels, which few ever attain in a permanent way, are the levels of unconditional love, kindness, acceptance of everyone, beauty appreciation, and on a more limited but nonetheless profound level, all of the seven faces of intention described in the opening chapters of this book. Below the levels of energy that strengthen us are the low energy levels of anger, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, hatred, judgment, and shame, all of which weaken and impact us in such a way as to inhibit our connection to the universal energy level of intention. What I'd like you to do here is to take a leap of faith with me while I present a few of the conclusions that Dr. Hawkins came to in his second book called The Eye of the Eye. The Eye of the Eye. Through this precise kinetic logical testing for truth versus falsehood, he's calibrated the approximate number of people whose energy is at or below the level that weakens. I'd like you to consider his findings and conclusions relative to your impact on civilization. Dr. Hawkins suggests that it's crucial for each of us to be aware of the significance of raising our frequency and vibration to the level where we begin to match up with the energy of the universal source, or in other words, make our connection to the power of intention. One of the most fascinating aspects of this line of research is the idea of counterbalancing. High energy people counterbalance the negative effect of low energy people, but it doesn't happen on a one-to-one basis because of that 87% of humanity that's in the lower weakening frequencies. One person connected to intention, as I've described it here in this book, can have an enormous impact on many people in the lower energy patterns. The higher up the scale you move towards actually being the light of enlightenment and knowing God consciousness, the more negatively vibrating energies you can counterbalance. Here are some fascinating figures from Dr. Hawkins' research for you to contemplate as you review the impact you have on humanity simply by being on the higher rungs of the ladder to intention. First one individual who lives and vibrates to the higher energy of optimism and a willingness to be non-judgmental of others will counterbalance the negativity of 90,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower weakening levels. Wow. One person who lives and vibrates to the energy of optimism and a willingness to be non-judgmental will counterbalance the negativity of 90,000 individuals. And the next, one individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of pure love and reverence for all of life will counterbalance the negativity of 750,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower weakening levels. Wow. This reminds me of the scripture in the Bible that says one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight, and so forth and so on. That right there, oh my goodness, man. Next says one individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of illumination, bliss, and infinite peace will counterbalance the negativity of 10 million people who calibrate at the lower weakening levels. Approximately 22 such sages are alive today. Man, 22 people are alive today that resonate at that level right there. And next is one individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of grace, pure spirit beyond the body, in a world of non-duality or complete oneness, will counterbalance the negativity of 70 million people who calibrate at the lower weakening levels. He says there are approximately 10 such sages alive today that resonates on that level. Wow, man. That's a goal, to elevate to that heights so that we can bring, because that's ultimately why we're here, you all. That's why we're breathing. We're not breathing to work shifts at the down to the steel mill, work down at the warehouse, to pick up an extra shift, to be somebody's mom and daddy. No, that's not what we're here to do. We are here ultimately, you all, to not just have a human experience, but we're also here to pour into this planet, to pour into this 3D realm, to raise the frequencies of the collective. That's what we're here to do. And if one of us can change and raise the frequencies of those many people, can you imagine what we all can do if we all elevated at that height, at that level of frequency? Man, listen. Here are two compelling statistics offered by Dr. Hawkins in his 29-year study on the hidden determinants of human behavior. Number one single avatar living at the highest level of consciousness in this period of history to whom the title Lord is appropriate, such as Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha, and Lord Jesus Christ. Our counterbalance would counterbalance the collective negativity of all of mankind in today's world. So one single one of them could counterbalance the collective negativity of all of mankind. My goodness. Number two, the negativity of the entire human population would self-destruct were it not for the counteracting effect of these higher energy fields. If it were not, what he's saying here, if it were not for these high vibrating, God conscious individuals that walked this planet, that the level of negativity that would have been here on this planet, it would have self-destructed by now. Come on here. Man, ooh-wee. The implications of these figures are immense for discovering ways of improving human consciousness and raising ourselves to the place where we match up with the same energy of intention from which we were intended. Let me go back to that. Let me go back to that before I carry on. Because he's saying these are the same things that we're supposed to do. If you're a follower of Christ, right? And even in the Bible, before Christ died, the words that he said was, the things that I do shall you do also. And greater works shall you do because I'm about to leave here. Okay. The only thing that Christ was doing when Christ was walking the planet, Christ was showing us. Christ was reminding us of our power within. That's why Christ had to bring himself to the level of the people. That's why Christ had to walk amongst the people. That's why Christ had to speak in parables so that the people can understand. Listen. There's no difference between me and you, right? The only difference is I've tapped into who I am and what I possess. That's the difference, okay? Let me tell you something. The journey of Christ was this. Christ was born. Christ was with his mother and his stepfather up until the age of 12 years old. Christ then dipped off. He disappeared. For 18 years, Christ was gone. Christ reemerged at the age of 30. Christ walked amongst the people, performed the miracles and the whole 9 yards for 3 full years. Then Christ died. Christ went on. Okay? Those 18 years that Christ was gone, what do you think Christ was doing? I know what he was doing. He was aligning with his higher self. He was connecting to the things that he had inside of him, his God consciousness. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. Because had Christ not left the familial, hear me, I need y'all to hear me. Had Christ not left his familiar circle, okay? Had Christ not left from being programmed and conditioned to this human life, listen to me, because he was learning carpentry like his stepdaddy. You know, that was his stepdaddy's trade. That wasn't what he was here to do. he was just being taught how to do it because that's what the man in the house was doing, okay, to make his coin for the house, paying the bills. That wasn't what he was here to do. Had Christ not left, had he stayed right there, he would have gotten swept up in the things of this world. He would have gotten conformed and conditioned and programmed to the things of this world. He would have completely stepped off the path of what his purpose was. He needed to isolate in order to elevate. He needed to isolate in order to elevate. He needed to get to himself so that he can return to himself. Otherwise, he would have been a duplicate of Joseph and Mary. That wasn't what he was there for. He said, I was only sent through them to take on this human body. That's it. I got stuff to do now. I got to get to my call now. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you all gave me. Thank you. But now I got to go and be about my Father's business. Okay? He had to step away from them so that the programming and the conditioning of this human life couldn't take hold of him. He had to get in return and remember, recollect himself, get back to who he authentically is. Took him 18 years to do that. It took him 18 years to do that, okay? When he connected completely to his higher self, that's when he showed back up. And that's when he was capable of doing the things that he did. He had to raise his frequencies to the level that he could make a change with just his presence. That's what it is. And when Christ reemerged and did that and showed those things, he dwelt amongst the people. He was showing them by way of the parables, by way of the miracles. He was showing them what they had the power to do in themselves as well. Listen, the things that I do shall you do also. I'm no more special than you are. The things that I do shall you do also. The journey that we're taking is the same journey that Christ took. He was born, he was raised, he elevated himself, he stepped into his calling, he stepped in his purpose, he fulfilled his purpose, and he died. That's the same path we're on. But see, like he said, the things that I do shall you do also. But you got greater in you. You're going to do more than I did. I'm just here to show you how to do it. That's it. That's it. That is all. I'm here to show you how to do it. I'm here to help remove the blinders so that you can see what you truly made of. I'm here to eradicate and remove any obstacles that are in your way, including the obstacle of yourself. I'm here to do that so that you can get about your business. So that you can see that you are capable just as well as I am to do the things that you are purposed to do. The lady with the issue of blood, it wasn't, let me tell you something. That woman, it was her that made her whole. Christ didn't do nothing but walk through a crowd. He said, my love, your faith has made you whole. You did that. What she don't realize is that, baby, when she set her mind up at the door, before she got on her hands and knees and crawled to that man and touched the hem of his garment, she already was whole. It was her own faith that made her whole. That's the only reason Christ was here to remind us of who we are. No impossibilities. There are none. Zero, zilch, none. The only limitations that are on us are the ones that we believe. That's it. That's it. And the only reason that you believe that limitation is because you have forgotten who you are. Period. Period. Okay, now I can continue to read. I had to get that off my chest. I done got hot up in here. Okay. The implications of these figures are immense for discovering ways of improving human consciousness and raising ourselves to the place where we match up with the same energy of intention from which we were intended. Come on now, we got to match up with the same energy of intention from which we were intended. By raising your own frequency of vibration only slightly to a place where you regularly practice kindness, love, and receptivity, and to where you see beauty and the endless potential of good in others as well as yourself, you counterbalance 90,000 people somewhere on this planet who are living in the low energy levels of shame, anger, hatred, guilt, despair, depression, and so on. You are changing and shifting atmospheres when you raise your frequencies, when you reconnect, when you recollect, when you remember, when you elevate yourself to where you live, to where your truth, the true essence of you resides. I can't help thinking of John F. Kennedy's handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis in the 1960s. He was surrounded by advisors urging the use of nuclear bombs if necessary. Yet his own energy and that of a few trusted colleagues who were steeped in the potential for a peaceful resolution served to counterbalance the vast majority of those who pushed for attack and velocity. One person with very high spiritual energy can put the possibility of war into a last resort category. This is true in your own life. Bring the energy of intention to the presence of conflict, even in family matters, and you will nullify and convert the low antagonistic energy with your very presence. I've done this in a hostile setting where young people influenced by alcohol and drugs were squaring off to fight while a crowd urged them on. On one occasion, I simply walked between two potential combatants humming the song, "Surely the presence of God is in this place." And that energy alone softened the atmosphere, raising the level of energy to peace. In another instance, I approached a woman who was immersed in having an angry fit with her toddler in a grocery store and screaming hateful apathies to the 2-year-old. I quietly moved into the energy field and said nothing, but radiated my desire for a higher energy of love, and it nullified the low energy of hatred. Consider the importance of becoming aware of the impact you have on others, and remind yourself that by raising your own energy level to a place where you're in harmony with intention, you become an instrument or a channel of peace. This works everywhere. So be a part of the counterbalance to the human negativity you encounter in your life. Okay? 5 suggestions for implementing the ideas in this chapter. Number 1, become aware of the importance of making all of your relationships divine. The holy relationship isn't based on any religion. The holy relationship emphasizes the unfolding of spirit in everyone. Your children are spiritual beings who come through you, not for you. I'm going to say that again. Your children are spiritual beings who come through you, not for you. Your love relationship can focus on wanting for your partner what you want for yourself. If you want freedom, want it for everyone you love. If you want abundance, want it first for others. If you want happiness, want it more for others, and let them know it. The more you have holiness as the centerpiece of your relationships, the more you'll merge with intention. Number 2, when a question of morality arises concerning how you should act towards others, simply ask yourself, what would the Messiah do? This inner inquiry returns you to the tranquility of intention. The Messiah represents the 7 faces of intention, all manifested in the spiritual being having a human experience. In this way, you're honoring the Christ in you that is also in everyone else. Practice wanting for others what you want for yourselves by being Christ-like rather than a Christian, or Muhammad-like rather than Muslim, and Buddha-like rather than Buddhist. It's not about the religion, you all. It's about the likeness. It's about the mindset. Okay? It's about the elevation frequencies. Be Christ-like rather than Christian. Be Muhammad-like rather than Muslim. Be Buddha-like rather than Buddhist. Okay? Christ himself wasn't even a Christian, right? Number 3, keep track of the judgments you direct towards yourself and others. Make a conscious effort to shift to compassionate thoughts and feelings. Offer a silent blessing to beggars rather than judging them as lazy or a drain on the economy. Your thoughts of compassion raise your level of energy and facilitate your staying connected to intention. Be compassionate towards everyone you meet, all of humanity, the entire kingdom of animal life, and our planet and cosmos as well. In return, the universal source of all life will bestow compassion upon you, helping you manifest your own individual intention. It's the law of attraction. Send out compassion, attract it back. Send out hostility and judgment, attract it back. Watch your thoughts. And when they're anything other than compassionate, change them. Number four, whatever others want it for them so strongly that you disperse this energy outward and act from this level of spiritual consciousness. Attempt to feel that what would make others most happy and fulfilled. Then send the high energy of intention to that feeling and concentrate on beaming this energy outward, particularly while in their presence. This will help to create doubly high field for such intentions to manifest. That's good. Number five, by continually alert to the fact that simply by thinking and feeling in harmony with the seven phases of intention, you'll be counterbalancing the collective negativity of a minimum of 90,000 people and perhaps millions. Nothing to do, no one to convert, no goals to accomplish, nothing more than raising your own energy level to the creative, kind, loving, beautiful, ever expanding, endless, abundant, and receptive to all without judgment frequencies. That's all we got to do. These inner attitudes will raise you to the level where your presence will impact humanity in a positive way. In autobiography of Yogi Swami Sri Yukteswar tells Yogananda, the deeper the self-realization of a man, the more he influences the whole universe by his subtle spiritual vibrations, and the less he himself is affected by the phenomenal flux. You have a responsibility to the entire human family to stay connected to intention. Otherwise, you could be depressing someone in Bulgari right at this moment. Man, that is so true. With these words, Mahatma Gandhi sums up this chapter on how we can impact the world by staying connected to that which intended us here in the first place. We must be changed. We must be the change we wish to see in the world. By being it, we connect to the eternal part of us that originates in infinity. This whole idea of infinity and coming to grips with how it affects our ability to know and employ the power of intention is vastly mysterious. It's the subject matter for the final chapter in part one of this book. We'll explore infinity from a body and a mind that begins and ends in time, yet somehow knows that the I that is in here has always been and always will be. That was amazingly good, you all. That chapter was awesome. Okay. Donald Robinson, hello, Donald, says, man, know thyself. Man, know thyself. I'm telling you, when you know yourself, I mean, no, not think, not I believe, I hope, I no, when you know yourself, when you know what you're made of, when you know why you're here, when you have a connection to who you are, why you are, where you are, how you are, then any other thing around you that is counter that, it won't even affect you. In fact, you affect and infect in the beautiful way everything else around you. Your very presence raises the frequency. Ah, man. The next chapter, you all, which we will be reading on Sunday, is entitled Intention and Infinity. Intention and Infinity. This is good. You all, this book is crazy. I'm telling y'all. I told you all, if you need this book, you better reach out. You better reach out to get your book. Reach out to me, inbox. Send a back channel message if you're listening on Clubhouse. Send me an email or send me a message if you're listening on Facebook or YouTube. Get this book, man. What are y'all waiting on? It's the PDF version book, so it can be wherever you are. We send it Google Drive, so you can take it wherever you need to, okay? But get this book. Listen, will blow your mind, okay? Send me an email at info at Bianca Miss B Lee. com. You can visit the website as well. Not only can you visit a website to connect with me or contact me, you can also visit the website to see to take advantage of some of my services, a counseling session, life and purpose coaching session. You can get any other workshop programs that I have to offer there. You can also get merchandise that's also available at Walmart.com as well. Okay. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, okay? Be sure to do that. Be sure to like, follow, be sure to subscribe if you're listening and watching on YouTube. Be sure to do that, okay? You don't want to miss it. You all listen. We are complete and we are done with this chapter for tonight. You all know I don't like to keep you long on Tuesday evenings because you know it's already late. So you already know what it is. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely, positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. I will see you back here on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at Divine Femininity United. Talk to you then. Have a wonderful night and have a phenomenal rest of your week. Peace.